What's going on, guys? It's me, your faithful host, Let's Play Dark Souls HD, and welcome to the final episode of the in-depth playthrough of Elden Ring. It's been a hell of an adventure, guys, but it's time to finish this. We've only got the final boss ahead of us. I think there's a couple more runes that I need to go collect in their respective towers, but for now, let's go and do this incredibly exciting, pretty difficult fight that is, it's quite challenging. But I'm looking forward to it. I really like it. Except for the second part. I really enjoy the first part of this fight, but the second part makes no sense to me at all, but I will cover that in my final thoughts afterwards. So we have Queen Marika here. And I don't know if that's like destined death stabbing through her, like the rune of death. And the thing that was holding her up in the air like that looks exactly like the rune arc item in your inventory. And then this here is the hammer that we see in the concept trailer and also in the very beginning intro cutscene when you make a new character. Alright, and just like that, Einhorn is Finkel. I'll give you one of these. Woo! So, Radagon's attacks all have like a pretty brutal delay about them, then the sweep up. There we go. Oh god, the stomp. Up! Yep, once he starts doing the holy stomp, you get him down to a certain amount of health, and he starts with a regular stomp, but the holy stomp is the second version of it. Oh, dude. You're done. Get one of these ready. There we go. Refill. And I know what's coming. We gotta get our holy resistance going for the Elden Beast. That was quick. That actually went much faster than I thought it would, I'll tell you that. We didn't even get to see half of his attacks. But then again, that's kind of a good thing, because the more he attacks, the more likely you are to die. Because Radagon's quite tough. Elden Beast, this next fight coming up isn't super duper difficult, but the problem is I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what this creature is or what it symbolizes. I don't know why the last boss in this game is a cosmic Lapras with a sword. Like, I really don't get the Nessie the Sea Monster look. It's a little irritating to me. The sword's kind of cool and symbolic. It's very reminiscent of like the coiled sword and like the bonfire sword and whatever. It's super duper iconic reoccurring theme in these games. So that part makes sense to me, but I don't understand why the sword is being wielded by a creature that probably doesn't need a sword to kill you. Like, I don't know. Like I said before, we'll talk more about it when I give my final thoughts after we incinerate this thing, but yeah, for now, that's kind of like my feelings on the matter. So I have a feeling Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike is probably going to melt this thing, so we're going to try it real quick. So we gotta act fast once the fight starts. Let's see what it does. Okay, there's like some slight resistance at the beginning of every boss fight, but it's whatever. Alright, this is a perfect opening for this attack. Okay, now we need to run. This is exactly why I cast that holy defense, because of stuff like that. There's a sword attack. Usually follows up with a second one. Okay. Nope. Roll. There we go. Alright, let's see. Oop. Where's he going? Do this. Let's see how much Taker's Flame does against him. Okay, you missed me severely. Okay, here's the super attack. This is actually quite easy to dodge. You just run, wait for the ring to appear. Like that. Just jump over it. And then he usually falls down somewhere. There we go. Come here, you. Quit squirming. Let's see how much this does. Oh, it does plenty. Watch out for that. Now, most of the Elden Beast's melee attacks typically end up being more than one hit, which is... This kind of surprises me. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Do a couple of these. Oh, yeah, that does great, man. Where's he gonna go? What you gonna do, man? That again? Okay. Oh, better break lock on. You don't want to be locked on when he does that attack. Problem is you really want to keep your eye on him though. Here, I'm just gonna increase my fire damage. Probably do us a little more good. Oop. Did not want to do that. Bubble for more fire damage, because like I said, I have that tier on that gives me additional fire damage. Hopefully they stack. Oh, come on, man. See, this is the only thing, like, with this fight, is it's a little bit like the Man-Eaters in that sense. It really kind of comes down to... He'll do shit like that. It really can kind of come down to RNG, which is totally bogus, but sit still. Go. And then another. And then another. Come on. Yeah, baby. Let's get him. Oh, shit. That's a bad attack. That's a bad attack. Oh, it's gonna... I don't have enough stamina to run. It's following me, too. Sucks. Oh, bogus. That's Elden Stars, which sucks. Okay, I need stamina back for this attack. Run! No. Shit. Oh, shit, I hit a wall. Not this attack again. Here we go. Jump! Oh, shit! Jump! Jump! Ugh, there we go. I barely made that. Here, let's eat this, just in case. Oh, he did the mega explosion attack. Here, let me get my FP back. I wonder why he did that. I wasn't near him. There's that. It's just in front of him. He has a beam version of that, which really sucks. Shoot! Alright. That is a purely medium range attack. It'll definitely hurt you if you're not close enough to him when he does it. But I kind of recommend trying to close the distance when he does that attack. You'll get better results like that. And... Shit, of course he's going to do that. Now, this attack is, like, really strangely hit or miss. It's like... Oh, shit, I'm not going to make it. Oh, I made it. Oh, fuck! Oh. That was dirty. You bastard, come here. I'm gonna kick your ass. There's the straight line version of that attack. It's super easy to get away from. You just move. Come here. Come here. And he's done. So yeah, oddly enough, these last two bosses in the game, you don't get a remembrance for Radagon, but you get one for the Elden Beast, which is kind of weird. But oddly enough, these two last bosses in the game are not super duper difficult, man. Like, you'll notice I didn't need Tish or anything for them. Like, they're pretty easy. Like, they're both incredibly weak to this sword, is the thing. Like, I'm telling you, nothing in this game, except for, like, maybe Rykard himself, can stand up to this sword. It's absurd. Well, and those damn bats that are, like, purely immune to fire or whatever, but, like... Okay, so, this, we can become the Lord of Frenzied Flame, is our option, because we are frenzied. But, we can also rest at this grace, and we don't have to beat the game or initiate the ending, is the nice thing. So let's rest. And then I may as well level up since it gave us 500,000 runes. If you're wondering why I went into that boss fight with 0 runes, I was actually messing around off screen and fell to my death like twice trying to do this drop down section over in Caelid because I thought I missed something, but I didn't. So I'm just going to get my vigor up to 50 with those points. But all right, that is, shoot, man, that's how it's done. Those two are not super hard, man. And then you are free to warp out of here, which is nice. So I'm going to go out to the Elden Throne, and I'm pretty sure you can activate different endings based on what rune you use, or which rune you choose to use. You can do the Dung Eaters, you can do all that stuff, like with the gold mask and everything, it doesn't matter. But I'm relatively certain... Let me go here first. Let me go East Atlas. I'm relatively certain that I didn't use all of my runes that I have, boss runes-wise. Maybe I did this one. Yep, okay. So we got to find the other one then. Let's go out here, the West Atlas Gate. This one might actually be Morgott, now that I think about it. I think it is. Yeah, I can't, like... I wonder why there's no... Is this... Yes, so this is in fact Morgott's. Okay, I'm glad I didn't waste time doing that. So maybe... I'm trying to think. Not Liurnia. The Caelid one is Radagon. So where... I guess I don't know where to go for the others' runes. I mean, I know that Limgrave is not the one we want to do because that's Godric's rune. Let's see. You can't do anything with Renala's. This we know, but I'm going to go up here anyway because I'm pretty sure this is where her flesh is, right? Yeah, that's her body. Okay. Not Renala, by the way. Here! I need to get out here to the isolated divine tower. I don't know how, though. Is it like... Is there a teleporter, maybe? I'm thinking there is. But I don't know where it is. I don't know how to get out there. Yeah. Oh, well. Because I think the only ones that we haven't used are... We have Mogs. Yeah, Rykard's and Millennia's. Those are the only ones we haven't activated. Where would Rykard's be? You would think his would be somewhere out here, wouldn't it? But I guess not. Huh. Let's go to his boss room anyway, just because. This is just me messing around, I guess. Wouldn't it be cool if you could use his rune here at his chopped off head? That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? Not the case, though. Alright, yeah, I guess I don't really know what to do about theirs. I know that Millennia's is here at this isolated divine tower. That's where you're supposed to go for hers. There are no other towers that I can think of. We have the one in Caelid, which we know is Radahn. Then we have this one here at Liurnia, which has... what's her name? Ronnie's body. And then we have the Limgrave one, which is Godric, the Grafted. And then there's West Atlas, which is Morgott. And then there's this one, the Divine Tower East, which is Moog. Okay. Yeah, that's all I got, man. Let's go down to Millennia's boss room. I'm pretty sure you can use the needle. We already got it, didn't we? Yeah, okay. We already got the needle. So we could use it in order to undo the Frenzy Flame, which is cool. Where is it? It's in our. It's not going to be in our key items. Actually, I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be under our usables. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, Miquella's Needle. One of the unalloyed gold needles that Miquella crafted to ward away the meddling of outer gods, capable of subduing the flame of frenzy if inherited, allowing one to cheat fate and avoid becoming Lord of Frenzied Flame. So, yeah, okay. Alright, so we have that. I'm just making sure we're covering all the endings that we can do. Let me go back to the round table hold. I don't think anybody here is going to have anything new to say, despite us beating the game. But
I see.
Yeah. Nothing new here, which is fine. That's okay. Well, let's go see what we can do with the remembrance, just so I can show it to you guys. I think you should get 2 remembrances for them, but you don't. Alright, so for this, you can either get the Marika's Hammer, which is a holy scaling, more of a quality weapon. I think the strength and the dexterity scaling stays the same as you level it up. The faith stat increases. It's got a really cool attack. You can essentially do his giant shockwave holy slam with it. And it does quite a bit of damage. It's, I would say if you use that, any place that has skeletons is no match for you in New Game Plus. At all. Like, you plus 10 this thing, because it needs the Somber Smithing Stones. You plus 10 this thing, and take it in there, and nothing is going to stand up to you. And then there's the Sacred Relic Sword. Sword wrought from the remains of God who should have lived a life eternal. Thoughts on what the weapon pretends are many and varied. Some consider it the mark of a great sin, or the sin of a great devastation. Some think it is the end of an age, while others the beginning. So that's kind of interesting. I'm probably going to use it to get this sword because it makes more sense for our stats. And I just like it, man. It's just a regular great sword, and that wave of gold attack is pretty badass. I like it. And then I don't think we can get anything new from here. The only thing new that shows up here would be like Horalu's stuff, but you can't get like Radagon's robe or anything, oddly enough. Alright, yeah, I'll go ahead and get this. Pretty cool. And then we'll hop down to our test area real quick, and I'll show you guys what it's made of. You need 24 dex and 22 faith to use this thing, man. It's requires a little bit of an investment. So, regular moveset, right? Nothing special about the attacks or anything. And as a matter of fact, it is essentially like a broadsword moveset, not a claymore, because there's no stab attack. But the Wave of Gold is pretty awesome, man. It goes all the way across the ground. It is a very asshole thing to do to PvPers in corridors. There's very, very little to nothing you can do to get rid of it or to dodge it. You can't chain it or anything like that, I don't think. Doesn't look like it, and you can't charge it either, but it is straight pure holy damage it does. It's pretty cool, and the sword looks nice as well. I like that about it. But yeah, that attack, like, I'm telling you, man, it's absurd. Here, I'll give you a perfect opportunity to see what it can do for yourself. Just so y'all can see what I mean. This thing is unupgraded. Keep that in mind. Like, our attack with this thing is 266. And just to show you what it can do, watch this. Unupgraded. Look at that. These guys are pretty much half dead. Unupgraded. And look how far it goes. This is absurd. It just goes and goes and goes and goes. And yes, just like the Taker's Flame, or the Blasphemous Blade, it does have hyper armor when you use it. So yeah, the only ones who are not, like, really getting knocked back by this thing are those guys with the shields, and it's because they're blocking. Like, if they weren't blocking and didn't have their shields up, it'd be a different story entirely. Yeah, this is an absurdly strong attack. There's a reason it's the last weapon in the game, because that shit is broken. Like, that, you think that this faith build that I've been running has made the game easy, you have no idea. Like, plus 10 this thing with 80 faith, oh my god. Like, use that attack on everything. Nothing will stand up to you. Like, you'll kill the Grafted Scion in one hit in New Game Plus. You'll kill the Tree Sentinel in one hit in New Game Plus. It is fucking ridiculous. It's very strong. So, alright. Trying to think if there's anything else that I want to cover before I do my review. Like I said, I don't really know where those towers are. I don't know where to take those runes. And that's not a big deal because I wouldn't use them anyway, even if I did. But that's really all we had left. Everything else is done for. We've already done everything. We've collected all the runes and got all the possible endings available to us. I think. Let's go to Ronnie real quick. Just to see. Just to make sure. We'll tie up any loose ends. And then I will do my final thoughts. Ronnie, wherefore art thou?
Mine will be in order, not and I would abandon. Wouldst thou come to?
Okay, so can't really do anything with her either. That's fine. I'll go back to my baby, my precious. Man, did you see what this thing did to him? Good lord, Radagon died so fast against this thing, man. This is stupid strong. All right, what's a good place to go do our final thoughts and go finish our talk? How about here? Let's go to the Forge of the Giants, shall we? It's got a nice view. It's a nice quiet area, away from everybody. And we'll just sit down and have a talk with each other. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Look at that. Nothing beats utter ruin as a world comes to the end of itself. Oh yeah, let's just like park it, have a seat, shall we? Okay, where to begin? So, for one, this has been a hell of a playthrough, right? And by all means, feel free to skip through this. Like, if you're not interested in hearing my final thoughts on this game or what I have to say for the next umpteen minutes or whatever, however long until I get tired of making my points and talking, feel free to skip ahead or just leave, you know, whatever. If you just wanted to see Radagon and Elden Beast, and you can skip to the Frenzied Flame ending, whatever you want to do. It's free country, but, well, I don't think there's any countries out there that aren't. Okay, no, we're not even going to get into that. I'm just assuming that wherever it is you're watching from, you have the ability to exit this video if you want to. So, anyway, this has been a hell of a playthrough. Did not think that this playthrough was going to be this many parts, but here we are, and I'm glad to have you. That's not a complaint. So, the average walkthrough that I do, and this wasn't one, this was just more of a casual playthrough than anything else, is typically about 50-something parts. And this ran up to 104, which is ridiculous. But I would do it all again. And if you can't tell by the number of parts in this playthrough, this game is incredibly fun, and I had a blast playing it. And you guys have been incredibly supportive and engaging through the entire journey. I was happy to be your host through this giant, enormous adventure that seemingly wouldn't end. And I'm almost kind of sad that it is ending. But then there's another part of me that is also excited because, spoiler alert, a lot of you guys were saying that you were not really down for Dark Souls 2, even though that's the game that I kind of want to play. But I'm happy to announce that I'm going to do Dark Souls 3 after this. There were a ton of people, landslide vote, said, no man, fuck Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 3, please. So ask and you shall receive. We're going to do Dark Souls 3. You're going to have to give me a little bit of time to like replay it and really craft a badass walkthrough that's like Demon Souls remake level, 4K and all that nonsense. It's going to be great. But anyway, on to Elden Ring. On to my final thoughts for this game. So Elden Ring is really great in a lot of areas. There are a lot of things about this game that I enjoy quite a bit. I really like how versatile it is. I like that it's like every good Souls game mashed together in one, minus the not so great ones. So you can do everything from Dark Souls 3 in this game. And hell, this game really is more like Dark Souls 3 than any other Souls game. But it mixes in some really nice things from Sekiro, like jumping and sneaking. So it takes the elements from some of the other really good Souls games and kind of like concocted them together in this ultimate ultimate game. And I really like that about it. I think it's easy to be whatever you want in this game. The build potential is ridiculous. I mean, the replay value is insane. Like, this is probably one of the only Souls games I can think of to date that I would consistently play up to like New Game Plus 5 or some shit, because why wouldn't you? You know, you can test out as many builds as you want. You can change the way your character looks. You know exactly where to go get the materials you need to perfect that build once you beat the game once, and because it's open world, there's nothing stopping you from playing it in whatever order you want. Like, literally, you could go straight for the medallions and smash the Relic tree, like right at the beginning of the game if you wanted, once you go to New Game Plus. I wouldn't recommend doing that on New Game, but I digress. So I really like those things about Elden Ring. I like that it gives you the ability to play it however you want, and I like that despite how unforgiving some of the late game areas are, if you have a viable build and you pump stats correctly to reflect the equipment that you're using, you can stay on par like you need to. Like, you'll notice that I had zero trouble in the hardest areas of this game because I have the right stats for the weapons that I'm using. I mean, Blasphemous Blade aside, it's more of a strength faith sword, and I'm dexterity faith, but I feel like everything that I've been using so far has gotten me through those areas with no trouble, because I'm just trying to say, if you level your character correctly and you're smart when you choose the equipment that you want for your build, you can still smash this game, just like any other Souls game. But it still presents its fair share of challenges and remains pretty unforgiving. Like, Elfiel, that place is absolute hell, man. Like, I don't care how good you are at Dark Souls, you play through that place, and it's going to piss you off. And same with Crumbling Fair Missoula. Like, those wandering beastmen, dragon dudes, or whatever, none of them are all that particularly difficult, but some of the traps there, and some of the other stuff you have to deal with, like those miniature dragon boss fights, like, some of that shit is crazy difficult, man. I'm surprised I beat that secluded dragon boss, that optional guy that's on that floating cliff where you can just fall to your death. I'm surprised I beat that guy on the first try, to be honest. He's kind of hard. But now I'm going to talk about some of the things I don't like about Elden Ring. We're going to reflect on some things that I'm not a fan of. One of them in particular being that I think that I'm not going to use the word lazy, because that's not fair. This game is immense, and there is a lot of thought and creativity put into it, and I think they worked incredibly hard to craft this game into the masterpiece that it is, but there are some parts of this game that I feel are not exactly... How do I word this? I don't want this to sound negative. It's a legit complaint, though. I feel that they have rehashed a lot of this game. Some of the enemies and catacombs and stuff like that, the different dungeons and caves and whatever, all feel very recycled over the course of the journey. And to me, that is not necessarily unforgivable, but it's pretty irritating. So what I would have liked to have seen in this game is more creative enemy types. Instead of them reusing the same enemy across the entire game, I would really have liked them to do what you would get in, like, for example, Demon Souls. You know, Demon Souls, every archstone is different. You're not going to run into the same enemy in different archstones. You're going to have similar, like, classes of enemy across each archstone, but they're never going to look or behave the same. And I think that that's something they probably could have done better in this game. So, for example, every cave that you go into shouldn't have the same crystal guys, just with more health this time. It really shouldn't be like that. And some of those caves even, I feel like they even got desperate and just put, like, misbegottens in them or something, you know? And then same with catacombs. The catacombs aren't as bad as the caves in this game. Like, the caves are just flat out rehashed and reused and recycled with the same enemies, the same everything, all the time. The catacombs are not as bad, but they're still wishy-washy. It's always the Fanged Imps, and it's always like a burial watchdog, or it's like at the end of the game, you know, when you're doing the catacombs that are out in, like, the Forbidden Lands and stuff, it's like well, you know what? We gotta find a way to keep it challenging because this is endgame. Here's 2 burial watchdogs. Take that. And then if you can manage to beat that, they're like, okay, fine. Here's 3 burial watchdogs that you have to get into this lamp under this light in order to attack them. You guys know the catacomb I'm talking about. So, yeah. The only thing that I don't feel was annoying to keep running into, and this is going to sound crazy, is the chariots. I think that the reoccurring chariots that you run into in the hero graves is fine because it's like, it becomes iconic in a way. It's like, okay, here's another hero grave. I wonder what I'm going to have to do to get away from these chariots this time. Because they always change it. It's always different. So, yeah. That's one of my biggest complaints about this game is just, I won't say it's laziness or whatever because this is not a lazily crafted game. But I do feel that there's some serious wishy-washy rehash work going on across this adventure. And it really kind of got under my skin. The other thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is I don't think the lore is very strong in this game compared to like Dark Souls, for example. 1, 2, or 3. I would argue that those 3 games in particular have superior lore to this game. Bloodborne has better lore than all 3 Dark Souls games, so it certainly is better than this game. I don't really know a whole lot about Sekiro's lore, so I can't really say anything about that. I didn't care for that game, but this game, I won't say the lore is bad. It's not like it's not that it doesn't make any sense and that there's no storytelling. If you've been with me across this whole playthrough, then you probably have seen me in complete awe in some of these boss fights, like Rykard, for example. Like his storytelling and his boss fight and the way his character is set up and the way you are introduced to him, like the state that he is in after you know what you know about him. That's good shit, man. That's A1. And then some of the stuff with like Melania and Radon, like that fight that they have, that stalemate out there with the rot and everything. That shit is cool. Like some of it is really, really interesting and fascinating to uncover. But some of the other stuff, like this America becomes Radagon and whatever, like it, I don't know. The whole Finkel's Einhorn thing is a little bit strange to me. And my biggest complaint with the storytelling is 100% the Elden Beast. Like, I don't understand. Feel free to chime in the comments and try to educate me. But, yeah, as it sits, I don't know why that's the last boss in the game. To me, it feels a little bit weak and anticlimactic. What I would really have liked in this game, it'd be similar to, like, kind of what they did in Dark Souls 3. Not Lord of Cinder necessarily, but like some other form of Elden Lord. Like, it would have been really cool if they saved Vike for the end of the game. Fingerprint Vike would have been a phenomenal last boss. Like, imagine the fate of the Lands Between resting on you, the player character, and whatever chosen ending you want to go for, versus him and the world succumbing to the frenzied flame. That would be a perfect you versus the ultimate villain type setting. Whereas, like, when I step into that fight with Radagon, the only reason I fight back against him is because he will clobber me to death with that hammer if I don't. I don't feel any reason to kill him or bring him down. And same with the Elden Beast. When I see the Elden Beast come out and pull that sword out, I'm like, okay, who or what are you and what is your problem with me? Why do I have to fight you at all? And similar to Radagon, the situation becomes, okay, I don't really feel any story or plot coming from this enemy. I don't understand why I should fight this thing. What opinion does it have of me that I should find disfavorable? And then it just turns into, well, I guess I have to fight him because he's going to kill me if I don't. So, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like there's any purpose tied to that last boss. And it's a little bit strange to me. I remember on my very first character feeling very disappointed when I got to that fight. I was like, what is this cosmic Lapras with a coiled sword from Dark Souls 3? Like, what the fuck is that? It kind of bothered me. So that's why I don't sound too excited about it. And I wasn't super hyped to do this last episode because I knew that the last 2 fights in the game don't really make any sense to me. Radagon, like, kind of does, but I don't know. Not the Elden Beast. It's kind of like a lame fight, and it's probably my least favorite. It's my least favorite final battle in any Souls game, I'll tell you that. And that's kind of hard to do, because in Dark Souls 2, the last boss is, like, incredibly stupid, and somehow it was better than this. But, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there. Some other mentionable thoughts that I want to point out is that we have DLC confirmed for this game. I don't know if it's this Barbarians of the Badland or whatever's floating around out there that's, like, getting talked about. I don't know if that's confirmed to be the actual DLC. I just know that FromSoft themselves have said, hey, DLC's coming. So you can expect me to cover that for sure. I think what I'll do with the DLC is I will probably do something a little bit different than what I've done traditionally, because you'll notice if you've been following me for a long time, or depending on how long you've been a part of this community, I typically will not do blind runs through DLCs. I changed that up last time with Dark Souls 3. I did the Ring City and all that stuff, Ashes of Ariandel. I did all of that blind, and it got some really good feedback. A lot of people preferred that over a walkthrough of it, which is what I would normally do. So if Dark Souls 1 and 2, I did the DLC as a walkthrough after I'd already played through them. And then in Dark Souls 3, I did not do that. I did it more like blind, where I show you guys my fresh reactions to everything. And it was received a little bit better. So I think that's what I'll do with Elden Ring, is as soon as the DLC drops for that game, I will probably I will go straight into it blind with this same character, likely. I might use a larval tier to change things up a little bit, maybe like change my build up a little bit and try something else out just to keep things fresh. But I'm not going to go into New Game Plus with this character. Well, I guess I am. I guess I have to, because I have to activate the Flame of Frenzy ending. But, okay, well, I guess I'll end up going through that DLC on New Game Plus. That should be fun. So, all right. That's kind of everything I want to say about Elden Ring. A quick recap on my thoughts is what I like about it is how expansive and fun it can be for anybody, regardless of how you choose to play. It can be incredibly fun. I like that it remains punishing and challenging from start to finish. It doesn't ever become easy or watered down. Honestly, it gets worse as you keep going. It just gets more and more difficult, which I think is great, because one of my favorite things about playing FromSoft games is how fucking difficult they are. So that's a huge thing for me, is I like how that it never becomes easy. And then I also really like just how you can play. I like being able to jump and sneak, and I like all the mechanics. I like guard counterings and stuff. The fighting in this game is 100% superior to everything else so far, in my opinion. I think the combat in Elden Ring beats Sekiro and all those games by football fields. And then the dislikes that I have would be the story and the lore are just a little bit weak in some areas where it should be better. I don't like how wishy-washy and rehashed everything is, and how overused some of the same enemies are. I think they should have done better about that. And then I also will be playing the DLC blind when that comes out. So there's your quick summary of everything I just rambled about. I say, wow, let's not kill ourselves, huh? That'd be anticlimactic. I say we take one more good look at this burning Erd tree, because this tree being on fire, I'm telling you, man, everything's about to be on fire. That is going to be the case, man. So we're going to go to the Fractured America. I don't think there's anything else I really need to do in this playthrough. Like, I'd be smart to just stay on New Game, so that way, like, when the DLC drops, I don't have to worry about the DLC being, like, too difficult. But have you seen this sword? Have you seen what we're capable of on this character? I'm really not worried about it. I think it'll be just fine. And if I change my mind and decide that's not the case, I can always just make a new character and do a totally different build, which is what I was initially going to do, but that's a lot of freaking work. Because if you haven't noticed, this game is pretty damn long. So, I don't know. I'm kind of, like, indifferent about that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and activate the ending. There were some people that were against me doing this ending, but I don't know what it is about it, man. I just, like, there's something about the Frenzied Flame that's, like, I mean, look at that. That's so awesome, man. It's so cool. So let's do it. Should have took my helmet off. Would have made for a better cutscene so we could see the yellow eyes. I don't think anything will beat our drip, though. This Briar Drake armor combination, I mean, just look at that. I guess the helmet wouldn't have mattered. Never mind. We look like the Eye of Sauron. It's like the infinite Tsukuyomi or something. That is such a badass ending, man.
Lord of Frenzied Flame. I will seek you as far as you may travel. To deliver you what is yours. Destined death.
Don't threaten me with a good time, baby. I wish she would, man. See, when I initially went for the Frenzied Flame ending on my other character and I saw her say that, all I could think about was how I wished that she would. Alright, oh, we get a choice. Okay, if you don't start over now, you can choose to begin Journey 2 later. The table lost grace. Yeah, we do not want to do that. We want to keep it on New Game, if we can. Just for now. Alright. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We beat Elden Ring. And if there's anything I forgot, I can always go back and do it since we stayed on New Game. Shit, man. It's been an exciting journey, folks. I'm really happy about it. I think it's been a very long playthrough, but it felt worth it because I enjoyed every single step of this adventure. I really liked sharing my thoughts with you on every experience as we leveled up and turned our character into this monstrosity that it is now, this insanely powerful... Oh yeah, this build I'm very, very happy with, and I love the Frenzied Flame ending. I think it's super, like, it's very theatrical, and like it's just, I don't know, there's something I really like about it, because I've seen the others, and none of them are as satisfying as that one. Because that one leaves doors open that need to be closed, like some kind of fight with Melina that must be coming up. Because when she initially said that when I went for the Frenzied Flame for the first time, and she was like, I'm gonna kill you if you do that. I'm sitting over here like, fucking square up then. You don't want no smoke. So, yeah, man, hopefully in the DLC or something like that, and maybe in Elden Ring 2, who freaking knows? Maybe she'll fight us, and that'd be pretty cool. I'd be looking forward to that shit. But, alright. I guess I won't ramble on too much further. Wow, what an intense playthrough this was. Like I said, we're going to replace Elden Ring with Dark Souls 3, but you're going to have to give me a little bit of time. Expect some kind of filler in between them, like maybe some Ark Survival Evolved or something a little bit less serious and not quite as intense as like a Souls game. Maybe something just a little more lighthearted so I can refresh myself. And I'm going to work on Dark Souls 3 off screen in the meantime, and then expect the first episode of that to go up maybe in like a couple weeks or something. I don't know. However long it takes me to successfully play through it one time and feel good about it. And feel good about doing a walkthrough for it. I don't even know what kind of build I want to do. It's up in the air. I'm sure as hell not going to do anything as sorry as that shit I did in the last one. Jeez, man, what was that? The spiked mace or whatever that thing's called? What the hell was I thinking? Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me on this adventure. It has been a long time coming, and for those of you who somehow stuck around for 104 episodes, I owe you my salutations. So thank you guys, from the bottom of my heart, for joining me on Elden Ring. It's been an incredibly fun playthrough. I had a blast. At no point during these 104 episodes did I ever pick the controller up and feel anything other than excitement that it was time for some Elden Ring. So, we're going to put this playthrough to bed. I really appreciate all the support and everything that you guys have shown me, the engagement in the comments, the likes, the subscriptions, all the stuff I am thankful for. And with that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. We are ending on a Wednesday, oddly enough, because Elden Ring is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know what's going to come on Friday, but I'll surprise you. We'll make it dealer's choice, as some have mentioned in the previous comments. I like that term. But Demon Souls will finish up. Nothing's going to change with that. Don't worry. Might just do Demon Souls only for now until I start Dark Souls 3. But all right. I hope you guys enjoyed Elden Ring. I hope this has been a fun adventure for you. And I've been your faithful host. Let's play Dark Souls HD. I'll catch all of you guys in the next video.